Hi guys, this is Mrs. Monks, and I'm going to be showing you how to make a Zine. Now, this is going to be part of our pop-up week, so you'll be making this pop-up book at home. You can use a regular white piece of paper or even lined paper. Okay, so a Zine is a small book. If you look up on the internet, there's tons of great examples of what a Zine is, and it's basically just a small little book, and usually it's filled with information on the same idea or theme. Okay, so these are the books that I've been making, and let's get started. So you're going to take a white piece of paper, right, and you're going to fold it hot dog style in half. Okay, and you really want to crease those edges. Make sure you're lining up the corners as well. Fold it in half again. Okay, and then one additional time. So if we went to go ahead and open up this piece of paper, you're going to notice that there are 8 rectangles. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you're going to next fold it in half, and we're going to make a cut. And we're going to be cutting from this point to this point directly across, following that folded line. So what's this going to be able to allow us to do? It's going to allow us to push the book together all in one piece without cutting any pages apart. Okay, so go ahead and fold it in half like this, and then you're just going to let it squeeze together and fold up. Okay, so let me do that again. So again, one's in half, push it together, and fold in half. Okay, so that's your basic Zine. You can make a better Zine with cardstock or photograph paper, anything that's a little bit stiffer that you will be able to have a more protected outside. Okay, so what are we going to make with this Zine? Well, we're going to start with our booklet. We're going to make the first fold is called a tent fold. You're going to want to get a strip of paper that is the same width as your book. Okay, if you notice, I need to trim a little bit. Okay, so my strip of paper is shorter than my Zine. So if you notice the edges, there's a little bit, it's a little bit shorter than the edge of my book. Okay, you're gonna take that strip of paper and you're gonna fold it directly in half, like that. I'll put that to the side. Now we're going to make little tabs. This is like feet, so the fold can hold on our paper. So we're going to make the fold inside, and notice where it is on the other side. You want it the same. Okay, so I would actually just fold it over the other side of the strip, so it should be the same. Yep, perfect. Okay, so the next step is you're going to see where you want to put it. Okay, and this is where you're going to do some experimenting. Okay, so to do this, you need to have it completely flat. All right, and this can go anywhere. It doesn't have to be in the center. You can do a whole bunch of them. You can do different sizes if you wanted to for your project, but you want to make sure that the book can completely close whenever your Zine is designed, because you're not just going to be making a pop-up, you're going to be making something that goes on top of this as well. Okay, but that's further down the week. Okay, so you're gonna glue. You can use Elmer's glue. You can use the liquid Elmer's glue. You could even use tape. Okay, so it's up to you what kind of adhesive you use. All right, so we're gonna put this on this side of the book. Try and get it close to the binding or the center of the paper. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on this one, on the other side. Get some glue down, and you're going to just close the book. Press 10 seconds, my own children say. Count to 10, Mom. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and open it up gently. Sometimes if you have extra glue, it will make other parts of your tab stick, so you want to make sure that everything is good. And it looks great. So there's your first pop-up. Okay. Okay, so our next fold is called an uneven tent fold. So if you can see, this fold is uneven. It's not directly in the center. This fold is relying on this binding to be directly on the center of the book. Okay, so that's where we're gonna start. All right, so you want to take your book, you want to take your piece of paper. Again, you want to make sure that it's not as wide as your book. Okay, you're gonna make a little tab, and that tab is gonna go in the center of this binding. So here's my tab. Okay, so this is the first step, make the tab. Second step, open that up, and you're gonna fold it one more time, and this is gonna be the peak, the top of this uneven tent fold. Okay. So this piece is going to be on the opposite side, just like how this one is. Okay. This is our shortest side, so it's actually over here, not over here. Okay. And then we're going to do this one. So we're going to see where it goes. We're going to just make a little fold. This side is going to be glued right to this binding, and then we're going to close this, and it's almost makes it, maybe I'll make it a little bit shorter because I don't want it to go over the edge. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue that piece down. All right, so take your glue stick underneath, glue it, put it towards the binding. Okay, flatten your strip down, close the book, make sure it can close good. All right, now this piece is going to be glued over here. Instead of us just guessing where to go, we're going to go ahead and put glue on that tab. And you might have to do this a couple times, but you'll figure it out. Okay, it did take me a couple times to do this too when I was learning how to do pop-ups. Okay, so press real hard, just like I said, count to 10, and then gently open up your fold. And there is your pop-up uneven tent fold. Okay, so this is my original. This is our first fold, even tent fold, and uneven tent fold. Okay, our next type of pop-up is called a swirl pop-up. And here is that swirl. All right, so it sort of pops up. So the more circles you have, and I'll tell you about it, the more spirals and movement you can have. So what would you do with a pop-up with this? You might have like ants or maybe something that pops up. Maybe you can even have a coffee cup down here, and this could be the swirls to the heat of your coffee cup, or maybe like right here. So you're thinking about how you're going to be illustrating this using a pop-up. Okay, so you have to figure out how you're going to use pop-ups illustrating your own design. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so first you're going to start out with a square. All right, just any square. I have mine 3 inches, a 3-inch square. Okay, and I'm going to start cutting, and I'm going to cut in circles continuously. Okay, now the more swirls you have, the more things you can add on to your project. Okay, but this is just regular copy paper. If this was cardstock or something hard, you know, the flyers you get in the mail from voters and Republicans, all their advertisements, that hard cardstock would really work for this project. If you're interested, you could save those pieces while you're at home doing this project. Okay, so I have enough swirls. I'm going to finish this edge right here a little bit. I'm just going to cut off this piece. Now, you might want to just figure out how to do it first, get it done, and then go back and make a better one for your design that you're making. Okay, so there is our spiral, the spiral that I just made. Okay, here's our design. So here's the tricky part. You have to make sure that the swirl fits into the book, which it does, mine does. And see how I have this little piece on the left side? You might want to start your design on this side so that this piece is on the right side. So I'm gonna do this one, but just for example, you have other options of where you're going to put it, okay? But I want mine to look just like this so it's not confusing, okay? So first off, I'm going to put glue underneath that little center part of the swirl. Okay, so I'm going to lift it up. I'm just putting glue on this part on the bottom. Okay, now this part is gluey, so we want to wipe that off. We don't want any parts of this design to stick, just that center piece, so I keep messing up. All right, so we're going to push that down. So holding for 10 seconds. Make sure the other glue is off. Okay, the next part, and you can also lift it just to make sure that all the pieces that you want off the paper lifts off the paper, okay? So the last part of this is connecting this piece to the other side. So all you're gonna do, lift it up in the air, drop it down. I really like using this glue stick because that purple really shows up, and you guys can see it too. Go ahead and close it, and then open it back up, and voila, okay? It's pretty easy. So that is your design, all right? So you have 3, so a tent full, so something can pop up. You know how like you get birthday cards and something pops up? Aha! Okay, you can create that into anything. Look them up online, see if anybody has done anything really special. Maybe you would like to use that. Okay, so there are your 3 pop-ups using your design. So your design is the project. So creating the three types of pop-ups, and then you're going to illustrate that. Okay, and I will show you how to illustrate that tomorrow.